two now.
So
You had decided?
we decided that we will go.
Yeah.
So she said, this and this night will be a very hot night. People will sleep outside because they allowed, because they had wires around, electric and barbed wires. And this night I will come to you and I will help you to go out from here. She brought a electric wire cutter.
Really?
Yes.
No kidding.
I remember he had red handles like this, red handles. And she said, you cut one wire and then you had to crawl out. Don't touch anything, nothing, not barbed wire, not nothing, just if I am not this way, maybe then I was this big, this fat. And she did. She brought this cutter wire, we cut, and before she said, if you get out from here, you don't look even back. Just run through the fields, through the corn, through wheat, to what? Just go, no directions, no nothing. Just run. That's what we did. We were running at night.
So this was late at night. Then you snuck to the wire.
And we were running.
Were there? How did the Germans guard the camp at night? Did they have?
They had the reflectors.
Oh, they did. They must have had some men patrolling.
No. They had only, on the height, thinking with reflectors. I was looking, but I couldn't see somebody who was crawling on the.
Right. Okay.
And maybe he was sleeping, or maybe he was looking on the other side. God knows. I don't know.
But you would have been shot had they seen you.
Oh, without question even. Without question, because he had a machine gun on top, not just a rifle or a gun, a machine gun he had.
Up until this point, did you know of anybody else who had tried to escape? No. So, oh boy.
Well, I'm sorry if we can go back a little.
Sure.
Yes. One older man escaped. I don't know how. They got him. They took him in the middle of the camp, and they start to hitting him so much that from his shirt became like macaron. So you can imagine. This is what they had, like people used to use for the horses. How you call it? I don't know how you call this.
Crops.
Yeah. So there was two people, one from this side and one from this side, and they were like this: pom 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 pom. Beginning he cried, screamed. Later he couldn't say nothing. When they let him fall, we saw that his shirt was like you make macaron from it. This is supposed to be a lesson. What you get if you run away, or if you try to run away. Now, I am 99.9% sure that this man didn't survive. This we saw. But again, I said, what a difference. If you're going to stay there, we're going to prolong just our misery. and we're going to die anyway. If not from typhus, it's not from hunger, it's not from this. Somehow we're going to die. So we decided we run. We run. Of course, I cannot tell you where, because there was no direction, no address. We saw a little, oh yes, and they gave us special uniforms. Striped uniforms, like the zebras has, exactly the same color like the zebras. So we're running, then we see a little house. Of course, there was no electricity out of the cities, just kerosene lamps. We see through the window an old couple. Telephones, there's no telephones there. What an old person can do to two young guys. We decided to knock on the window. He should see who we are. Of course, he recognized right away that we are run away from this camp.
Right.
But I opened the doors, I took us in. I gave us food. She gave us some clothes from her husband to change. And I asked him, could you point me the direction back to Warsaw? He said yes. He pointed us direction to Warsaw. But he says, before we went, he says, if you're going to Warsaw, remember that the Jews, how he got this old man this notice, the Jews preparing an uprising.
And he knew this.
He knew this.
Oh.
They must to have an underground radio, or from the partisans or something, because like this, if you're going back to Warsaw, but he didn't also be Jewish, because he know that in this camp is just Poles.
Wow.
But he said, if you're going back to Warsaw, remember that the Jews preparing an uprising.
Wow. Now this would have been about
43 already, beginning of 43, and 42, beginning of 43, because the uprising start April 1943. So it must be beginning of, because it took us at least a week or two to get there.
okay.
Because how we survived, we was going through the fields. We ripped out a raw potato, a raw carrot, or cabbage, yes. Like this, we survived, and we just going in this direction.
So you just walked.
Just walk.
I thought maybe
Yeah, we'll take a taxi.
No.
Or go on the train. Go on the train.
I guess it was different then, wasn't it? Yeah.
It's like, yes, it's like going to the lion straight in his mouth. So, after he just said, if you see the sun on this side, you know that you're in a good direction. Always watch the sun. So, took us 2-3 weeks to get there. When we got to Warsaw, he said to me, being in this camp, I had a feeling that she is Jewish. There is one word where a Jew can say to another, and if the other answers this word, you know he's Jewish. The word is Amcha. Amcha means from you people. I mean, if I said to him Amcha, and he answered Amcha, I know that he's Jewish and I'm Jewish. Then we embraced, and we... So when we went this direction back to Warsaw, we came to Warsaw, he said, I'm not going in the ghetto because I'll try to get to the town from where I am to see if somebody is alive.
His family.
His family, because this was out of Warsaw, maybe a few hundred kilometers.
Do you recall his name?
Matter of fact, since then I have never seen him.
No.
Never seen him. I don't remember his name. We're talking about 60-something years.
I know, but isn't it fascinating to think that maybe somewhere he's telling people his side of the story? Interesting to think.
No, a fact that he didn't know what happened to his family because he said, I'm going back. Now he got in this, how he got in this camp is the same way as I got. I went to work, he went to work for a farmer, and the farmer sent him. But I knew that I took away all my family from the ghetto. His family wasn't in the ghetto. It was some little town where the Germans didn't care about this town. If there is a few Jews, we take care of them later. So he said, I'm going to see if I can find somebody for my family. We hugged, we kissed, we wished each other success, good luck. Never seen him. Now, I said I have to go to the ghetto because maybe somebody, because I was told they took away 300,000 Jews. But nobody knew that they're going to take them to the concentration camp or they're going to kill them. So I still figure out maybe somebody was hiding and came out, maybe this, maybe that.
That's the only place you really had to go, isn't it?
I had no other place to go.
No place to start finding your
No. So again, the same challenge to sneak into the ghetto. Because we were outside the ghetto. So I heard already, I saw a movement and I heard that they're preparing an uprising. I went to the headquarters, as we say here, and I said, I want to participate.
So you got in.
I got in. I had no choice.
You recall how you pulled that off? How you got in?
The same thing, the hole.
Same hole?
Same hole.
Oh, good.
Same hole.
Oh.
They look at me and say, you? How old you are? I said, 14. What you gonna do? I said, whatever you show me, I'm gonna do. I want to take vengeance on my family. That's it, nothing more. So, they took me in, showed me a machine gun, said this machine gives out 800 bullets in a minute, and what you have to do, just pull this trigger. When you're going to hear the order, just pull this trigger. And watch, because you're going to stay in the window, like others will stay in the window. Just watch that no German should see you, and he can see even if he see the machine gun, but if he don't see you, so he don't know from where it's coming.
So this machine gun must have been set up at a window someplace?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Not one. There was a main street in the ghetto, like this table. Okay. And from both sides were buildings, like here the streets. and in each window there was somebody with a machine gun.
Okay.
There was even a few younger than I was. There was guys 13 years, 14 years. And they said, you're going to stay, when you're going to hear the order, fire. General Trop, he got the order from the Führer to liquidate the ghetto. Liquidate the ghetto to mean all these people, whatever is in the ghetto, take away, just burn the ghetto to the ground. There's no witness, no nothing. General Trop walks into this ghetto on the main street, so proud and full of soldiers behind him. When he came already to the end of the street, then we had the order fire. We start to shooting right and left, like they told me, just shoot. But in this confusion, they didn't know what to do. They started throwing grenades.
You did. You.
No, they, the Germans.
The Germans started throwing grenades back.
Yeah, whoever didn't die yet or wasn't killed, they started throwing grenades right and left. But they were confused. I didn't know from where it's coming. But this German Trop put the hand on his head like this and said, "Oh my God, Juden schießen." I mean, oh my God, the Jews are shooting. He never in his dream that a Jew can shoot or a Jew will put resistance against this almighty Third Reich. So, whoever was killed, and the rest, they got out, back.
Did the general get shot?
No.
No, he got
No. He didn't get shot.
Do you think you hit anybody?
Huh?
When you were shooting, do you think you hit anybody? It's really your first time with a machine gun, huh? My God.
I'm sure I shot more than one, because they was coming in the hundreds, in 3 or 4 in the line, and we wait. I mean, the leader, they were waiting until they come to the end of the street. So then, because if we start just when they come in, so then they have time to go back.
Right.
But if they come to the end of the street, so the only ones who could go back was on the list. And of course, not all of them what came there were killed. This is it.
Right.
So when they got out, we knew that this is not the end. That this will come, they will come with a greater force, and I will try this time to do a better job. Because this time they are prepared that the Jews are shooting. Before, they never had in their mind that the Jews are shooting. So, we knew that they will come back with great force, and they will demolish, I will finish everyone. The leaders had prepared already an exit through a tunnel, through a sewer. They say, after this, we have to go to the sewer, and there, the sewer, the exit, it's out of the ghetto. But seems to me, I'm sure, we had some spies in the ghetto, because I don't believe a Jew would do this. The first fighters who came to the exit and left the plate, like here, the Germans was there with machine guns already.
At the sewer. So you were betrayed.
So of course, many of ours died, and the rest of us had to go back in the sewer.
So you were all trying to get to the sewer. The Germans were there. You were not hit.
No, because I was in the back still. I was in the back.
But you saw this happen.
Oh yes, because I saw. Because I was prepared to go out also.
Your state of mind at that point, I mean, after having done this, after having shot at the Germans, you must have been in a hell of a state. I mean, you must have been very, very excited. Everybody must have been just...
Well, I was excited, at least that whatever happened to my family, I took some vengeance. This was my only reason to go to this, to the uprising. So, we had to go back. And then we couldn't regroup again. Everybody was on his own. So whoever survived. Whoever not. And I was hiding because there still was fighters after we left through the sewers. There still was fighters who was fighting there. But our group, whatever we were, 30, 40, or 50, but there was a few hundred who was fighting. So I was hiding there. They put gas in the sewer, but because we was walking until here in garbage, so not everybody got killed from the gas. And many of us survived. And then, in the meantime, they burned, I think half the buildings in the ghetto they burned already. The Germans.
And at this point, you're hiding in the ghetto. Yeah. Okay.
Because the sewer was from the ghetto to out. If I had to go back, I had to come back to the ghetto. But like I said, the ghetto was not 10 or 20 streets. There was kilometers quadrat. So I was hiding. And again, I decided I had to go to a farmer, look for a job. But going to some village, I heard that's not far from here is a forest. They were talking one to another, and they saw the group of partisans. I figured out to myself, if this is true, let me try. I went to the forest. I went to the forest maybe 500 feet. Came out, partisans. Who are you? I ran away from the ghetto, and I'm looking for help. And I want to take vengeance on my family. They knew, of course, what happened, because the machine guns what we had in the ghetto, it was from the partisans what they give us.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, where could we make? Well, we factored in the ghetto machine guns. Because there was an underground traffic.
Right.
Where they got from the Czechs, from the Russian. So of course, they took me in and they started trying me out to see if I'm not, like we tried out the nun. They tried out me to see if I'm not a spy or whatever. Send us of all kind of jobs to do, you know.
So you became a member of the partisans then?
I became a member of the partisans then, yes.
And then how did you live? Where did you hide? Where did they hide?
The forest, the Germans didn't have the guts to go in the forest. Because the forest was so...
close, dense?
Yeah, the trees, everything was so close. And we was going at night to the villages for food. Of course, I was giving us because they were against the Nazis. Because the villages was Poles, and they know we are Poles, the group partisans. They fighting against the Nazis.
Right.
So we got food. We got whatever. We was sleeping many times. We had what the soldiers has, canvas. Canvas, yeah. Canvas or on top on a tree. And we used to go every day or every night to do some sabotage job. I know they had a radio. They had all the news. The radio called Radio Warszawa, Warsaw Radio. This was from the underground people in Warsaw. So they know everything what's going on. About a month or 2 months, I later find out before the war ended, this radio stopped to functioning. So we don't know if they discovered the Germans or what, because our radio didn't. So one time, after I was already trying out and this, the German found a pot in this. So they figure out, let's go with this pot, and I'm sure we find some partisans. So this was a repetition, but this time I know already how to shoot. They put people on the trees from both sides of the pot.
The partisans did.
The partisans did, yes. And let the Germans go. How far more they can go in the forest? When you heard fire, then so two people was sitting in case one get killed or what. So the second takes over. When they came in, happened the same as happened in the ghetto. But here, this was not buildings, this was trees. So they know that's coming from the top. So they started to shooting and throwing grenades. Fact is, this is what happened to me.
Oh,
See my hand? Look this hand, look this hand.
I didn't notice that.
No, and this finger and all this hand, because a piece of granite hit me. Because I was
You were in a tree.
on a tree.
Yeah.
They were throwing grenades back and right and left because I didn't know. They know that this.
They were trying to get them to explode in the air.
Yeah, because they know here on the ground there's nobody, so must be in the air.
Those German grenades had a handle, didn't they? They used to call them potato mashers. They had a handle. Yeah.
Took out and
Yeah.
the minute it took out from the handle and you throw, you explode.
Yeah.
It's no matter it's in the air or whatever.
Gotcha.
So then what happened to me this, the other guy took over, but in the meantime, I find out that all his toes from one right leg was cut off. But he was,
Pardon me.
yes.
Oh, is Bill down here? Excuse me.
No.
Okay.
We have an interview, Paul. In a
Oh,
few minutes.
I'm sorry. Sorry, you were supposed to meet me here.
No. So,
So you're right-handed. Are you right-handed? Because you otherwise would have lost your trigger finger, wouldn't you?
well, yes, but after this, the blood was running and the pain. I couldn't anyway work because you had to keep one was the trigger, but the second one you had to keep the machine gun, because it was trembling. So, whatever happened, many was killed, the rest left. And this guy, what was with me, in the moment from I don't know, excitement or fear, he didn't felt even that he don't have the toe cut off. Later, he saw the blood. The same thing me. I didn't feel that I lost a finger. But nothing else. If this would be in a place, not in a war, because I found the finger under the tree.
Yeah.
It was black like this.
Mm-hmm.
But because the nerve works, you see.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So you could attach them back. But what? We had no medicine or nothing.
Yeah.
So just one friend ripped off a piece of his shirt, and we used to hold the only thing what we got mostly, what the people in the villages was eating, was not ham, the other thing. How you call this? They're buying in the supermarket, but they have another name. Ham packages also come.
I'm not sure.
Oh yes, the Christian eat this a lot. Well,
Pork.
no, not pork. This is from pork, yeah, but it's exactly like
Ham, bacon.
bacon.
Bacon. Oh.
Bacon. So he took out a piece of bacon, he put,
Oh.
and he took the shirt, and this was the medicine. This was everything.
Medical care.
Medical care. That's it.
Oh, my God.
Well, we continued another few weeks, but no radio anymore. One time, since I was already a full member, they trusted me in this. I say, you, three of you will go to the village for food. We come to the village. As I said to us, what you still doing here? The war is ended already. The war is ended already almost a week.
And you didn't know?
How? How could we know being in forest?
Oh, for crying out loud. So this was May of 45?
Yes.
Wow.
This was May of 45. No, this was January, because there the war finished in January. The Russian came in January.
That's right.
For here maybe with the Japanese or whatever was in May.
So January 45. Wow.
January 45.
My God.
Then I went back to Warsaw. Of course, Warsaw was liberated. There was a Jewish committee, like here, Holocaust memorial, not a Holocaust, where all the survivors come there to sign their name and to look if somebody from the family.
In Warsaw.
In Warsaw, yeah. The place called Praga. Not Praga, Czechoslovakia, but the place called Praga. So I went there. There was thousands and thousands names, survivors, but I didn't find one survivor for my family.
Even your extended family? Nobody.
For 60 years, I was searching. There was not a country where I know there is a Jewish population I shouldn't write letters.
You've been looking for this.
Couldn't find. And I have people who looked on the internet already. Many, couldn't find my name.